we're finally in that little bit of a recovery mode since that Friday sell-off that happened. So let's see if we can continue that wave up. If you guys look at my screen right now, we can see we had a pretty nice sell-off towards the end of the day on Friday. And then yesterday, once the overnight session started, finally started pumping up nice and smooth. Now we're, just buffering around that 200 EMA as well as our key level for the day. Our next key level is at around 35.10, so we do have that potential to go there. Again, this week, the next couple of weeks will be all over the place. One, because we have earnings. Two, because we have the elections getting closer and closer. So be very careful. This month hasn't really been like amazing for me either. Just small moves here and there. Good morning, Dragon. Good morning, Chris. How are you guys, man? Did you guys enjoy your weekend? Yeah, mine was good, man. I got some time to just sit back and relax for a little bit, so it was nice. Still looked at the charts here and there, even though I didn't want to, but we can never get away from them. But like, I was like looking into some more long-term portfolio stuff. Zillow is on my watch list for like the long term. I'm gonna be adding my positions to that soon. I'm just waiting for their earnings to be released, and I'm gonna analyze those and then just hit it for the long run. And then another interesting one that popped up on my radar was the new QQQJ ETF, which is the Invesco Nasdaq Next Gen 100 ETF. And we all know tech still has a lot of room to go. It's, that next industrial boom, right? Like, we've been in that boom that people don't realize, but tech is where it's at, man. Like, going forward, everything's gonna be revolving around tech. Doesn't matter if it's like automation or anything, just general use. Everything revolves around tech at the moment, and it's gonna grow even more towards tech. So definitely looking into that next gen one, the Nasdaq Next Gen 100 fund. I like it so far. I'm still doing some more research. I thought I'd just put it out there, so if you guys want to do your own research, definitely check it out. What's up, Yulsties? And since it is so new, like that QQQJ, that ETF, the price is still pretty cheap. It's only like the last traded price was $26.58, so still on the lower end. Pretty good. But it's an ETF, so it does have potential to grow, right? Especially if it's a next gen. Definitely something to keep on your radar, guys. Definitely do your research on it. This just came out, so I'm going to be reading what they have. You can just go to like the Invesco's website. Like, for example, right, if you just go to Invesco's website, just type it in, you'll be able to find all their details. Just check it out. It's up to you if you guys are investing for your long-term portfolio as well, right? Because that's super important. Take your money and reinvest. But yeah, again, first 15 minutes right now in the futures market, we are just going to be waiting it out a little bit. There's no confirmation of like a trend reversal yet, right? Because we do have that short-term trend to the downside. We can always bounce off of these trend, like the trend line that's happening, right from right here to here. And we might be a little bit of a range bound situation for a little bit out at the morning. So that's one thing that I'm trying to be very careful of. What's up, Chuck? What's up, Mandich? We still need to fill the gap at 347. Okay. I'll keep an eye out on that. Morning, Sergio. Good morning, Enzo. Let's get this day started. We might be able to actually make that big push to the upside, potentially. I see an alert forming. It's not confirmed yet, that's why I don't have my orders up or anything. But if it confirms, I will get in because that means we have the potential to just make a nice move up, which I wouldn't mind. Tradeovate did get a nice little update. They kind of made the appearance a little bit better. They took out the gray and made it completely black on the background. So I'm in love with this right now because, as you guys know, whenever I use my trading view or anything, I like the black background completely. And they're making some other modifications, so we're gonna see some interesting stuff coming our ways in the next month with Tradeovate. I'm pretty excited for that. That's a nice delta bar right there, man. I like the way this is coming up. Yeah, some nice pressure coming in. I like seeing this. It's also like bouncing off of that key level, holding above that 200 EMA. This might be the point where, you know, we make that nice reversal. So this is something I wouldn't mind getting in on. So I'm just waiting it out for candle close. That's when I'll put my order in. Just pushing down again. Okay. Oh.
Stop fill.
I was having trouble getting filled on that one. I don't know, did this update change something? Because something's off. Target's gonna be 502. Stop loss will be 85.50. Perfect. We did get in just a little late on this one. but seems like it could make a nice move to the upside, so that's why I'm in it. Take profit level 1 would be at 34.9450. And I'll show you why I took the trade as well. Nice algo alert right at the open. We know once we get it at the open, most times it can have a nice move, nice push. 502 will be our target. But if we lose any momentum here, I'll cut the trade. I like seeing smooth movements at least till level 2. After level 2, we might hear a little bit of, back and forth. You saw the seller stepping in a little bit, but that's when I can still hold because I'll be at break even regardless. So it's all about riding them out, making sure you get the winners, right? For the NQ, I can check 1 second. NQ. So the NQ algo alert is 1 second. It's forming right now on this candle. There was one before, right before market open at 9:15, but then took a little bit of dip, so it recalculated. Now it's back up at the 9:35 candle that's still forming. So we could see a nice pump up. That's what I'm waiting for. Unfortunately, we did give up like a point at the entry because it wasn't working. That drag and drop. I don't know why. Nice delta pressure coming in. I like the way this is forming. Getting some sellers stepping in at 34.93. That'll be interesting to see. Right now, we just wait. Just gotta wait for take profit to hit. Forming nicely. It's gonna take some time before we get to our third take profit level. We'll see how it plays out. We do have to break above 34.95 just to confirm like that trend shift, because we are still riding down, right? There's still a nice little trend line that's going down the base. We're just crossing it. We need to hold above. We just barely. Did we even break the pivot? No, we didn't break the previous pivot, so that's concerning. But see, Delta's pushing up high though. If we can break the previous delta, that'd be pretty nice. Seeing some selling pressure, but nothing to worry about just yet. This market has been annoying for the past couple weeks. I've been getting irritated by it a little bit, just the way it's been operating. Nothing, no nice trending moves in the morning. Kind of annoying. Let's see if we can have some buyers step in. Still didn't hit that first take profit level. That's why I can't move it up to break even yet. I do have to wait it out. Let's see. Let's see. At this moment, my risk reward is good as well, because for the move I'm going, I'm trying to get $1,000 of profit, right? Only risking, well, in this case, I had to risk a little bit more. I had to like 600 instead of 500, just because my late entry by like 1 point. That cost me that 100, but hopefully this can just run right through. Let's see if we can break this little pivot. Break above that. Once we break above that 34.95, I think we might get some more buying pressure. There was a double top right there. Lots of sellers just stepped in out of nowhere right there. That happened way too quickly. That's good, Enzo. Let's just I don't like the fact that it's like forming like a spinning top situation. It's not a doji yet. Doji, the handle body has to be a bit smaller. I mean, we broke that morning range just by a tick. So this might just be that little pullback, and then we should get that little second breakout again, right? The tick chart is kind of going back and forth, so we might just see a little bit of back and forth between buyers and sellers, but I'm still holding strong. They are just creating that high volume node of the day right there. See if we can break above it. That'd be nice. NQ is holding strong too, so it's like NQ is doing fine. See that 34.95, like I said, now the orders are piling up at 34.95, but that's what we have to break through at 34.95. Yeah, man, they are fighting hard. You can see the orders piling up at 34.95. I think we should be able to break through them. Because the stimulus talks are still in good hands. Like they still want to push that stimulus out. So let's see. It's really just that double top situation where it reversed. That's where we're having the most like back and forth. But once we break through that previous pivot, we should be in good hands to this push. That's what I'm waiting for at the moment. Our first take profit levels at 34.9450. We didn't hit 34.9450 yet. That's my only concern before moving it up to break even. They are going a little bit back and forth, back and forth. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. It didn't break below any of the candle lows, so that's one good sign. But at the same time, not breaking the highs either. Not liking the way this is going. Lots of orders piling up at 34.9225. Yep, those orders disappeared. Okay, that's cool. If we can break through that pivot right there, right, 34.93.75 in this candle, we should still be good. The buyer should be strong. Yeah, this play is a bit of anxiety, that's for sure. But we have to just follow our system because that's how we win in the long run. And then they all moved right back up to 34.95, all the orders. That's great. There's a lot of back and forth. I don't like this. Especially since we couldn't even break through that double top right there. That's what worries me the most. Are there candlesticks on Doji? Oh yeah, shit. But the dojis aren't breaking below. So that's NQ got weak. NQ definitely got weak. Don't like this. Yep, not a fan of this. Break even, here we go. See if we can just get a little push to break even. Let me see how much buying pressure we have. There's not much buying pressure. This could be a little bit of a minor pullback. I'm gonna hold. It's like if you look at the candle structure, it's like there's nothing wrong. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, let's see if we can bounce up. Let's see. That's the only reason I'm in this trade is because we have that support level. Both the 200 EMA and our key support level. That's the only reason I'm in this trade, or else I would have cut it back here. If we didn't have this, because we had our stop underneath them, that's why I was safe about it. If we didn't have that, I would have been cutting it a long time ago. We should actually take it out at 90.75 because that's where our entry should have been. Yikes. Let's see. I mean, I would definitely consider it. I'm just trying to see, can we hold? 1 second. NQ is kind of dipping. Okay, this does not look good. Just have that key support level. We are bouncing off that 200 EMA though. That's the only thing I have going at the moment. This is gonna be nerve-wracking. And we have the bottom of the morning range. Getting some support. Let's see.
Upfield.
Yep. Great. The 1 hour is continuing its little downtrend right now. That's why. Okay. Yeah, it blows, but it's okay. Yeah, man, like I don't care if I end up losing like once in a while, but it's normal. My risk to reward was measured. The move I was going for was gonna give me like $1,000, and I was only risking like 5 to 600, and that was okay with me. This is just one of those shitty days, and that's normal. Oh, definitely. There'll be another move for sure. Right now, the only thing we have is like 1 hour. I should have checked up on the 1 hour, to be honest. This morning, I did not check the 1 hour. That was my fault. Or else I would have noticed the fact that we were still trying to continue that nice little downtrend. Let's take a look at the 1 hour charts, right? Take a look at the 1 hour charts. We'll see. Even though overall trend is up, the short-term trend is still down. Thank you, Amanda. I would really appreciate, guys, if you guys do hit that like button. Definitely helps me out growing the channel. If you're new, definitely do subscribe. We do trade every day. Yeah, everyone profits at a different time. That's because their strategies work differently, right? It's like based on that, that's what matters. As long as if you love trading 5 to 9, trade 5 to 9 and walk away. But yeah, we could see a nice little bounce back down. So two things can happen. We can push down again, or we're going to be jumping back and forth between this box. Yeah, Chuck. Enzo trades from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. He gets up early. So this will be interesting to see. I knew this week was going to be annoying, but I didn't expect it to be this fast. Yeah, I am in New Jersey. We're only like 2 hours away. That is true. Let me see. Can we get any other moves? No? Yeah, that overall trend is still down. So we'll see what happens today. It'll be interesting. We might end, I think more than not, we're gonna end up just being the range bound situation going back and forth. See how well we react to our key level here. I don't think we touched it last night. We did touch it last night. Okay. We buffered a little bit back there. We might go for some delta scalps if they look proper. I'll go for the flips. Nothing, no continuation ones today. I kind of been stepping away from the scalping just because the risk to reward profile isn't there. In the slower market, it's easier, but in these markets where price is just jumping back and forth, going for that 1 point scalp does not make sense for me. But if an opportunity presents itself, I will do it. No doubt about that. I think we'll find some support here around that 34.74 area. Within this 10-point range between 34.80 and 34.70, I feel like we might catch some support because I do see the dome with piling up with the buyers, which is nice. We have a key level. It struggled there last night as well, so we'll see. Facebook, Google, Amazon down. Okay, that makes sense then. They're pretty much running the market at the moment. If you did want to go for a delta scalp, you would have went in on this one right here. And you would have got that immediately. And then this one here, well, actually you would have started back here at 9.10, 9.15. But since it didn't cross on the next candle right here, you wouldn't get in. So this candle would have worked out perfectly. See, back here, 7.10, nice delta move. And over here, yep. Let's see. No, wheat is selling nicely. Okay. Still got to do some more research on wheat and corn. Still working on that. But hopefully, next coming weeks, we can start doing some live trading with that as well. Lots of sellers coming in. Yeah, looking at the 1 hour charts again, like I was like, it might end up being range bound today, guys. Like definitely like in the box that I drew out before, like between like 3,500 and like 34, like 70. Should just be going back and forth. There's no thing that like just recognizes the ABC pattern, Enzo. I just high low the pivots. That's just like if you go to TradingView, just type in pivot points, high low, you'll get it. It's built into TradingView. Um, that's just mainly to identify the pivot highs and low, right? It's nothing. It just helps identify your own pattern. It's an ABC pattern. If you're using that, it's mainly you have to like find it yourself, right? It's very hard for a system to analyze that because there's different pivots and different moves. So those patterns are mainly all visual and that you have to identify yourself. Yeah, it's definitely helpful, that's for sure. Like if you're using those patterns, if you're trying to like do based on like pivot points and legs, having those high pivot points definitely helps because you can set them up for any time frame. Let me look at some options. Maybe I want to do like a call spread real quick. Yikes. Yeah, Mandish, the indicator that I was just talking about, it's built on TradingView. It's just if you type in an indicator, just type in pivot points, high, low. It just identifies like the highs and lows of the pivot points. So if you're like a pattern trader, then you can use that to identify your legs. Oh man, it's not for the two-legged pullback. Enzo was talking about the ABC patterns. That's another pattern. Two-legged pullback is a different strategy. The ABC patterns are different, but you could use it for two-legged pullbacks if you wanted to. It might be a bit harder, but these the legs that you're trying to identify are it requires a different requirement, right? We are finding that support. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, that's the thing, right? With those patterns, that's why I said it requires a lot more guessing. That's why I don't use those patterns. So for some people, they identify them very well and they practice them. So it's like everything does come with practice. But me personally, never really liked the ABC patterns or anything like that. And the thing you have to keep in mind with those patterns, it's much easier to identify them in like the big, like long-term time frames, right? Well, 1 hour and daily time frames. They're super easy. It gets harder when you're in, 1 minute and 5 minute because there's a lot of moves happening back and forth. MNQ filled gap. Okay, let's see. I mean, if the candle can hold like this, we might be able to make a V-shaped recovery. Let's see. I mean, V-shaped recoveries happen all the time. That's why they don't surprise me, especially in this market. We sell off and then we come right back up. So that's the only reason like I'm even looking for it. But ideally, I would want this candle to break above this candle's high, right? At least break that 34.81. That's ideally what I would like to see. If I get in on something like this, then I would clearly just ride it out to like one of the high volume nodes, right around like 34.87, or just take it off at that key level because that might act as resistance now. So we're gonna find out. We'll see. We still have some time on this. If the candles get weaker and weaker, that means it's just gonna continue that trend and just fall down. They get stronger and stronger. Buyers are stepping in. They do want to make that recovery, right? You're keeping an eye on corn? Okay. Let me know how that goes. Sorry if screen keeps going blank of every time I switch tabs or switch browsers between my E-Trade account, it blanks out my screen. Let's see. Eh. It might just end up being range bound, guys. So just be a little bit careful. The only pattern that I really like is just a bull flag. It's one of those things that works out perfectly most majority of the time. That's why I like it. But that's the only pattern I usually go for. So it depends on the swing type of swing trading, right? If you're only swing trading for the next couple days and you're selling it within the week, your technicals are good. That's what I personally do. I pretty much just stick to technicals when I'm swing trading, just like weekly plays or just like daily plays, right? Or I sell them in the next 2 days or 3 days. But then for long term, like if you're putting in your retirement account, your Roth IRA, or whatever, right? Then your fundamental analysis needs to be there with your technicals, right? Like before, I was talking about like Zillow was something I had my eye on just because the way they're taking over the industry and how their revenues are growing, looking at their balance sheet, like everything's been good. They're in good standing. Their growth projections are great. And just understanding the industry overall, right? Because if you see like one, they're pretty much they have a monopoly on the digital space where how people look at houses. If you want to look at houses, you type in Zillow or Trulia. Those are two popular sites for regular consumers, right? You have the MLS for the realtors, but guess what? Using Zillow is much easier than the MLS because the MLS is kind of outdated a little bit, so it's kind of annoying, but Zillow is super easy to use. Only benefit of MLS is you get the deals there first. But nowadays everything's getting uploaded super quick anyway. But Zillow owns Trulia as well. A lot of people don't know that, but they own that too. So if they own pretty much the top two sites that people check real estate on, and then they're also offering like loans to people for houses, and then they're buying properties, as well as they're planning to launch their own in-house brokerage, right? Which they said they would never do, because that's the only reason like all the real estate companies were putting stuff on their websites, because they said, oh, they're never going to become a brokerage. Okay, we have nothing to worry about. But now they're saying, hey, we're going to take over. So they're going to take a big portion of that real estate industry itself. So when you're like putting stuff in your retirement, fundamental analysis is key. When you're just swing trading for a couple days, your technicals will probably benefit you the best. A friend of mine mentioned NIO, but haven't checked it out yet. Neo is, dude, it's has some good swings, has some good plays. I have played with it a couple times actually. I don't think Neo will ever be the next Tesla. Tesla is way more than just a car company that people don't realize. You just see like the main thing that they tell you, right? Oh, we sell cars and everything. They're more tech based than anything else. The amount of data that they receive from people just driving the Teslas around, creating safety technology, making advancements like no other car company has, like they are in front of the game by like 10 years, and every car company agrees to that. Silo, I never have checked out Silo, but like we'll see. A lot of people just FOMOing it because they're scared to miss out on the next Tesla. Yeah, Chuck, I agree with you, man. I don't see Neo becoming the next Tesla, in my opinion, right? Because it's just trying to be a regular old car company. It's not trying to create innovative tech or anything like that. Yeah, they're creating electric cars, which is still innovative, but at the end of the day, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Because most car companies are just normal stocks, nothing really crazy, right? Yeah, Neo is gonna be in debt for a while. Also, Chinese government has supported Neo by dump of billions into it. Okay, that's interesting. Yikes, down 3K? That blows. Hopefully he'll get it back. Right now, I'm waiting it out. I'm trying to see because we might end up being range bound, and if that's the case, I'll have to hop off just because I don't want to look at a market when it's range bound. But I mean, I always wish people the best, man. Like, I hope he gets it back, honestly. Like, 3K is a good amount, but he is trading like the 150K account, so I can understand. That's still a lot. Oh, yeah, he is a good dude. Nice job, Lewis. Congrats, man. Yeah, that's the thing with the market right now. That's like those firm stops are kind of harder. It depends on his trading style, right? With me personally, I have those firm stops because my risk management is very important to me. Where if it hits it, I'm done with it. And today, we were trying to get filled back there, but we didn't act soon. We didn't act quick enough, so we got burned on that one. But it's part of the game. It doesn't affect me that I lost that. But if he's averaging with minis, yeah, that's kind of risky. With micros, if you're averaging, that makes complete sense to me. But hopefully he's getting bigger winners. Yeah, looking at the delta too, guys, like it's going back and forth. We might end up being just range bound today between that 34.47, 34.4, sorry, 34.70 and that 34.90. I had the SPY chart up on the side for me for some reason, and then I was reading those numbers. But yeah, overall, we're gonna be jumping back and forth between those 20 points. Honestly, my favorite months to trade are between January and like May. That's when markets are nice. But like I said, even in the beginning, right when I started the stream, I knew like there was some iffiness to the markets where these next 2-3 weeks are gonna be very interesting and something to watch out for. Yeah, because like today, yeah, I lost 600. That's okay with me. That's under my risk management profile. Like I didn't hit my max or anything like that, so I'm still good. I'm in a comfortable position, and when I get my winner, which I will, it's gonna even out and give me some profit. So this month, yeah, it's definitely been slow for me. That's for sure. I mean, I already sold a good amount of my stock positions just because I didn't want to get caught in any downtrend right after the elections. So that's me personally, but for my very long term positions, like I'm just gonna hold them because that's the whole point. Buy and hold, get your dividends paid, and relax. if you're waiting like 30, 40 years, it's not gonna matter just because you saved the $2 or you got $2 extra of profit. It's not worth it. That's why with my long-term portfolio, I kind of just let it sit. That's the whole point. Every book I've read, everything I watched about like the markets and everything, that's the biggest takeaway if you're for your long-term portfolios, right? Have your stop loss in it for sure, but don't try to like day trade your long-term portfolio too much. Yeah, we might, Chris. We'll find out, right? Did you get any of your wick tests today? I know you like to go for those wick plays on the 1 hour. We're just pushing down. Oh, it went down 10 minutes ago. Oh, man. Yeah, we're getting some nice support around 34.70. That's for sure. Have some orders piling up. That's nice to see. It's okay, man. You'll get it back. Like, Thunder Couplement, you're in the point of control trade. Okay. Let me know how that goes, man. Let me know how that point of control flip goes for you. Because I know those moves do play out pretty well. I pull up the algo chart on the ES? Yeah, for sure. We only had one alert so far in the morning. Got stuck by that, you know. That's what we had. Pretty much just based on that 1 hour trend line. That blue line that you see right here is that 1 hour chart trend line, and we should have paid attention to that more because that's where we just reversed off, bounced off, and went right down. So we'll see what happens. There's no alert for the downside just yet because we might end up just pushing right back up. That's up to Chuck to answer. Yeah, that's a message for Chuck. He's the one that was doing the gap plays. I'm not trading gap plays on the ES. That's just me. We all have our own ways, and that's why we can all still make money. Yeah, the gaps do end up filling at some point or another. Do you set your algo on the ES1 instead of the actual ES? The reason why I set it on the ES1 on TradingView is because that way I don't have to keep changing back and forth because it already has all the data. But if you look at like the ESZ contract, right, it's gonna show you the same exact picture. The only reason I have on TradingView because it lets me do continuous contracts where it adds the new contract every single time without me having to worry about changing it every time. So manage with the gap plays, it depends. It's after like market close and market open, that's when you usually see big gaps. All right, now we're just pushing down. I still think we'll find some support here around that 34.70. That's for sure. Yeah, that Chuck. Yeah, that is completely true. Yeah, Heikinashi, you won't see gaps. You have to do regular candlesticks for that. Like 1 second. Let's see if I can just pop it up on the chart here. We should. Here, I'll just do this right here. Candlestick. So this would be an example of a gap, guys, right here. I'll draw out a little box as well. That way you can see it clearly. No, I'm not trying to enter an order. This little box right here, that's a gap. And if you want to see much better picture, right? And that price does need to get filled, that is for sure. But the thing with gap plays that you do have to remember is that they don't always happen, say the next day or within the same day. It can happen at any given point in time, especially with stocks and stuff as well, because like sometimes it takes months. But yeah, so if we zoom out and how about this? Let's just extend this. That way we can see it live. So this is the gap range, right? We tested it first, but then next time we went right through it very fast. And some people only trade the gap plays. That is true. Like, and some people try to go for options right when they hit that price and they try to short or go up, whichever way like the market's moving at the moment. But they'll try to go for a quick option play and last like a couple seconds, to be honest. But these plays are super quick, but it is something that does happen over time. Now we're getting that little support. Okay. Going back to my Heikinashis. Deleting this box. Yeah, the gap is filled once the price completely goes through it. But what people try to do with gaps is, from my understanding, is essentially, because I don't personally trade the gaps, you're trying to essentially catch the gap itself. Because it's a very quick move, and especially when you have like a big space for a gap, it will get filled. So say in that case, right, it was at 34.70. You want to try to get in right at 34.70 or wait for the second test in this case, right? And you're trying to short just what the gap was. You're not trying to exceed the gap. You're not trying to get anything else. You have the exact profit target level for yourself as well. So it's just a matter of getting in and getting out. Because in this play, it was like an 8-point play. So you would have went from like 34.70 to like 34.62 short, right? So you would have got 8 points. And that was in a matter of like, less than like a 5-minute candle. But yeah, when you do see like big pushes out of nowhere or really high wicks, it might be because of a gap that never got filled. And a lot of people use gaps as their only trading points, where they'll draw out all the gaps on stocks, especially because there's a lot of gaps in stocks. And they're just trying to get the fills in there. But this is an ideal situation for a gap where it tested it, came back out, and then you had the proper entry. You don't want to just enter just because it touched that price, because then it can pull back on you. And sometimes it pushes right through, and that's the case, right, with the market. It's not like there's only one single way of doing something. But the more secure way is to just wait for going on that second test. It's the same thing that we do with that morning breakout, right? We go for that second test because we have higher probability then. And if you guys could, please do hit that like button. It does help me out a lot. And then please do subscribe if you guys are new. Definitely helps. Trying to grow this channel. We've been getting some new people every day. I love seeing that. A lot of people are hitting me up. I love that, guys. If you want any advice or anything from, or just hear my opinion on something, or if you're new, definitely just feel free to ask. That Discord channel is there. You guys can just message me privately there or in the group, right? I'm always here to help. I'm not some type of guru or anything, right? I'm just here. Whatever knowledge I have, I'm just giving it back, right? There was somebody else that was going for the point of control flip. That's, yeah, pretty much volume profile. Thank you, Chuck. But yeah, guys, like that's why I made that free course, just putting all the knowledge out there for all the beginners, that stuff that you should learn, just to have a basic understanding of the market if you are new, because a lot of times we do skip over a lot of the education stuff just because we want to get in, because it's like the market's fun and it's exciting. It's very exciting, but that excitement really does burn us in the beginning. I blew through my accounts in the beginning. I know that. Like, I have no shame in that now. Like back then, yeah, I was like, oh shit, like I lost money. But now it's like, once I have my plan set up, I have everything, like everything's there. That's why I made it for free. Just wanted to give back. The only thing I sell is like the algo, and that's on a subscription basis. And I'm honest with people where I say it's like, hey, it's not some holy grail system. It's not, you're not gonna win 100% of the time. I'd literally tell you, the win rate for it is between 80 to 85%, and that's what I use. It gives me my risk management. It's measured, and I don't have to worry. I try to take the emotions out of trading as much as possible. So, and it's just about waiting, right? Probability, probability, probability. That's all I care about. Yeah, so the win rates are based off of the 5 minutes, because for the futures, that's all I trade, right? 5-minute charts, Ikonashis. I trade only between 8 and 12, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., right? And all those results that you guys see in that Excel sheet that's in the Discord, that you guys can see all the results for it, like, you'll see. But I think if you're looking at the one in October's results, they still have to be finished, because the way the Excel sheet's set up, I can't have it count properly, right? Because it'll count the break evens. And that's one of the biggest thing you guys should watch out for when you see all these guys telling you about their win rates and everything. Tell them to add their break evens in, because if they're not having break evens, that shows you that, hey, like, that risk management isn't there. But once the month finishes, that's when we'll have the proper win rate, and I will post that. But this month has been very slow. Still profitable, but very slow. Were there any traders I learned from or feel like you could recommend? To be honest, I didn't learn from a specific trader or anything like that. I didn't have a mentor or something like that. It was mainly me just figuring everything out step by step, just by making mistakes. Because like the best trader that you can learn from is yourself and your mistakes, right? And the only way you can do that is if you keep a journal. Keep a journal. Like in the beginning, I didn't keep a journal. I was just trading to trade. It was exciting. Oh, I can make money in the market. Like this is cool. But then I realized like, hey, like this wasn't like the proper way. And I started journaling everything. And that's when, I finally started understanding my trends, right? Hey, like when am I performing the best? When am I not performing the best? It's like what time frames and everything. Once I started analyzing my own data, that's when I realized, hey, like trade between 8 and 12 with futures, cut it out after that. And then pretty much with stocks, I swing trade them on the 1 hour chart and the daily chart. So that's like, it doesn't require too much. And then just having the risk management, just following it, right? If I ever lose 3 trades in a row or 3 trades in a day, I just cut it out and I walk away. I have hard rules in place just to protect myself for the long run. I realized that was very important. Yeah, it is about risk management and game probabilities, right? That's the one thing I realized for myself. It's like I was like, oh, when I first started out, I was like going for these plays, but then I would win, right? I would keep winning, but then I would have like a loss and it would offset all my winners. So say if I won like 5 times and then lost 1 time, but then I lost everything I made in the five wins before that, I was like, that just wasted all my time and all my effort that I put in, right? That's when I was like, okay. And then I was like, risk management. I was like, okay, let me read books about this. Let me watch videos about this. And then I started understanding it. But then risk management was also one of the things I learned when I was in college as well, in my finance courses, because my investment professor was actually pretty helpful with all that stuff. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, I do have to thank him. Maybe I'll send him a nice little email and just say thank you for everything he did, because like I just realized those fundamentals really came from there. Yeah, Trading in the Zone is a great book. I recommend it as well. There is an audiobook on YouTube, I believe, that you can listen to if you just want to listen to it on YouTube. I think it's free on YouTube. And the reason like traders take years to get to that point is because I've noticed the trends, right? I'm very keen on finding trends no matter what I'm doing, just in like trading as well as just life, right? I notice like how people are acting or whatever's happening, and I take note of it. So with me, I was like, okay, I was like winning so much, but then my 1 or 2 losses would bring me down right back to break even. So I was like, okay, risk management, I need to formulate a plan that gets me more, a higher reward and like a lower risk, right? That's when everything started to finally pick up. And that's why, like, when I was building the algo and everything, it was risk management was key. Like the amount of importance I put on that, because then no matter, say you lose a couple, it doesn't matter, right? That's when you can really get your emotions out of things, because when you have a good risk management plan, that dude, like, your emotions actually calm down. Because you know at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I'm only risking this much, but I'm getting this much, right? So it's a good deal. The only time when you're more nervous is when you're like, oh man, like I'm risking like $500 to make $100. You're gonna be panicking because you could lose $500, right? But if I'm risking $100 to make like $300, then guess what? You're like, I like that. The odds are in my favor. Like I'm going for a good move. It's a steal deal, right? The same like reasoning whenever you go shopping or anything. You look at like the really expensive stuff. You're like you kind of think twice about it. But then if you see something on sale, you're like, oh, I like this because guess what? You're getting a good deal. And that's where risk management kicks in. Oh yeah, Dunder Kopelman. I'm sorry if I messed that name up. But I agree with you, man. That's why I say journaling, collecting your stats. That's why when I get in on these algo plays, I'm completely fine with it, even if it doesn't go my way, because I know long run it will go my way. And with trading, like it's not a consistent like, oh, I'm gonna get $500 a day every single day, right? It's not like it doesn't work like that. Some days, guess what? You'll make like minus like 600 today. The next day you can make plus 1,000, and then the next day you can make like plus 400, and it fluctuates. That's why I took out those daily goals and just keep the weekly goals in place. And understanding market conditions. Really do try to just, you don't have to like be so important on the news to the point where you're trying to read every single article. Just understand the major headlines, what's happening in the world, like oh, election season's coming up, market's going to be a bit weird and funky, right? So I have to be a bit more careful. So when I am getting in these plays, let me avoid these scalps, because like right now that's what I'm doing. I'm avoiding scalps for that one reason, because like market's a bit weird. These conditions are completely new. There's a lot going on. Earnings are coming up. So why not just stay back a little bit and wait it out, right? Because like I'll have good months. Like I know January till May, they're always like the best months for me. Um, like towards December. December is a weird month, guys. A lot of people are holidays. Volume kind of dies down. A lot of things are going on. So December is a funky month. So that's why when you're trading, some months you will have a lot less. You will make a lot less, right? And that's just the way it is. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I messed up today is I forgot to do my top-down analysis this morning. Every morning what I do is I check the daily chart. Even though I know what's going on, I still check a daily chart. Then I jump down to the hourly chart. Then I'll check the 30 or 15 minute just to see like somewhat of a trend that's happening. And then I'll jump right back into the 5 minute chart. Because like if I see like a downtrend in the hourly chart, why am I going to go for long positions? Like it makes no sense to me. And that's what I missed today, and it paid. Like I had to pay for it. I just saw the likes and everything, guys. I really do. I just want to say thank you for all the likes, all the support. Really does mean a lot to me. It's crazy that it's been like a month and a half. And like even like getting to 113 subscribers. That's crazy to me. I was happy when we got like 5 or 10 too. Do I trade multiple contracts? I do trade multiple contracts. I change it up based on what the market's doing. Ever since COVID, I dropped my contracts down to 2, and I'll be jumping back and forth between 2 and 1 on the ES futures. But then before, because it was a bit slower, I would be trading like 3, 4. Yeah, no problem, Warren. I do scale out depending on the setup of the move. I do more scaling when I'm in stocks with the ES futures though, because it's like sometimes most of the moves are pretty short. Scaling doesn't really work out, so I just kind of get in and then I ride it out. But when the market's slow, like last year when markets were moving a lot slower, it was a lot better to scale. No background music. I don't know what you mean. Oh, like, do you want me to add background music, Michael? Yeah, I would consider adding background music if I can find some good stuff. I still got to figure out all the streaming stuff. I'm still growing. I'm still learning everything. I can put some background music when I stop talking or something like that. That's for sure. I do like the lo-fi stuff. I have like the Spotify playlist for the lo-fi. But yeah, I do have to find non-copyrighted music. I don't know about death metal, Chris. That's not really my way. Elevator music? No, man. Bandage. We're not doing elevator music. I feel like people would be so annoyed by that. It's like the same thing. It's like, oh, when you call customer service, they put you on hold and they're like, oh yeah, we'll be with you. I can put that too, right? What else are you guys saying? Warren, sorry. For the ATR targets and stops, you could use the ATR. My highest recommendation, which I did use for ATR, is when I personally use it, I always go whatever the ATR and then -1, especially for futures. ATR, so if the ATR is at like 7 or like 7.2, I'll drop my target would be 6. Because that way I can confirm the move. Yeah, I have a higher probability when I cut it down by 1. But yeah, ATR is pretty good for stops as well. Definitely understand like where the high volume nodes of the day are as well when you're trading that way. That's a must for whatever type of trades you're doing, because that tells you where price is going to be fluctuating the most or forming like jumping back and forth. So that's an area you want to be careful about. And if we can get support off those levels, that would be awesome, right? It's like right now we are I know it's hard to see again because I had to take those white bars out because I had to apparently adjust it every single time. There's no automatic way of doing this. But all this whole gray histogram right here is the volume, right? At volume and price. So right here, we're creating like getting close to creating a new high volume node for the day. So we'll see what happens. We had the other one right up here. So this might, who knows, we could get that move right back up, right? It does happen from time to time. But yeah, I'll write it down to look for some lo-fi music. I really do have to figure out the streaming software a little bit more. Good morning, George. And I think November 1st, that week, I will be not streaming just because I know the market's going to be a bit funky. So I'm just trying to avoid it and it'll give me a good break and a nice little reset as well. So I'll still watch them on the sides from my laptop or something, but I'm not going to be like in front of my desk, like just staring at it. Because those type of time periods are, it's better to just, watch from the sidelines, not do anything than try to be like, oh, I have to get a trade. I didn't get a trade this week, right? That's what's gonna burn us. Because these elections are something else, especially since like how like Trump already tries to control the markets and his tweets and everything. Who knows what happens, like what he's gonna say and how that's gonna affect everything. Sorry, Laura. Notice this one. You can think or swim to increase the futures margin. What is your opinion about that? If you can. Yeah, Laura, I wouldn't really suggest Thinkorswim for trading futures. Like I personally love Tradeovate. I think they're a very good broker. They give you a lot of analytics that you can understand and help you. You don't get that in Thinkorswim. I understand people love Thinkorswim because they do have their own private scripts that people give you and all that not stuff, but I personally think trading futures on, Tradeovate is probably the best platform. I think AMP Global is also one, but they use other people's charting platforms like TradingView and everything. I don't know why they're increasing the margins for the futures. That's kind of interesting, but yeah, me personally, but trading futures, I love Tradeovate because you can do brackets, you can get in and out. And like for example, right in here, right, I'll show you all the analytics. I took a loss today, but it'll tell me exactly what time I took it, how much it was, in my P&L history, what time that happened, and I keep track of this time of day when I get in, right? That time of day is what really helped me identify, hey, when I trade from between 8 and 12, that's my best time. Yeah, their commissions for micros are kind of insane. Yeah, man, journaling is super important. That's why Tradeovate is one of my like top platforms for futures. So these are my top platforms for each like different market, right? Futures, I say Tradeovate. For options, I say E-Trade because they have the power of E-Trade. I love their platform, their interface, and everything. For just stocks, I use TradeStation integrated into TradingView because that just makes my life easier. So for each type of market, I use a different platform. E-Trade I always use for my options, and then for stocks, I'm always using TradeStation. That way, all my money, I understand like, hey, this account's only doing this account's doing this. Tradeovate is just for futures. Everything's segmented off, and so when I do my analysis, it doesn't get confusing. Yeah, it probably is because like the election. Tastyworks is a great platform for options as well. Michael, I do agree with you on that one. I personally just got so used to E-Trade, man, that I just love it. Especially Power E-Trade. Because it'll tell me exactly what my what I do with options, I do spreads, right? I do call verticals and put verticals only. I stopped playing regular call and put options. I just do the spreads. And with that E-Trade, it'll tell me like, hey, this is how much I'll make, like especially if it at expiry and whatnot. And it'll also give me like ideas that I could trade just because it has that like what I forgot what it's called. Let me pull it up. Oh yeah, it's called Strategy Seek on E-Trade, and essentially with that, you can put in exactly what you're looking for, where you're expecting price to be, and based on that, it will give you options on what you could trade or ideas on what you could trade and how much you'll receive for it. And that's the one reason I love E-Trade for that. I did try to get in on like an Apple spread today for the end of the week, but I didn't get filled on it yet. I'm still waiting. You mainly use them as insurance? Okay, yeah. That's a proper way to use options as well. The only reason I trade spreads is because your risk is so limited. Your gains are limited as well, but it's much easier and you have a higher probability of understanding like, hey, call vertical spread, right? You're like, I just want price to stay above this level. If you look at monthly pivots, you'll understand exactly where that is. So it's like when you can guarantee yourself you have like a hot 90% chance of winning, even though you're making a lot less, you're still okay. See. Wow, 26 people watching, 26 likes. I love that. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, Michael. Read up on call verticals and put verticals. That's what they're called. They're or the other name for it would be called debit spreads or put debit spreads or credit spreads, right? And they're very useful because like they show you exactly how what your probability is, and all you have to do it's essentially placing a bet, right? You're saying, hey, Apple's gonna stay above this price by the end of the week. Like if Apple's trading at like 120 right now, and then I say, oh, Apple's gonna stay above 116 for sure, right? Especially based on a key support level. That's how I do it. I look at key support levels and I go based on that. Like if you want, I'll show you my chart right now for those because ES is kind of just going through, just going down. So we'll let ES do its thing, but I can show you what my chart would look like. Now look at the daily, right? Here you go. This is just your standard pivot points on the daily charts that you can use. And what I personally do is when I go for a call vertical, right? I'll place my call vertical prices around like for this one, I placed it last week around 112. That's the one I got in on. So I did a call vertical spread last week, and it paid out nicely because my price when I got in the contracts for 112 and 113. That's how spreads work. You're getting that difference, and all it had to do was hold above it. And we know with Apple especially, it likes to hold above those key levels. So all I do is I look for the support prices and then the resistance prices, and that's how I'll do it. I'll buy call spreads when it's around the support, and then put verticals when the put spreads, right? I don't understand why they have so many names for it, but that's where I would have done it. But in this case, this didn't make sense because we're not gonna jump up that much anyway. But when it's much closer, you'll understand once you start watching the charts a bit more. Understand, oh, price does stay around in this range. And our pivot levels are key areas, right? So all I have to do is I placed a spread. I said, okay, Apple's not gonna be above, sorry, it's not gonna go below 112, and that was my point. And I I got paid on that because guess what? It stayed above 112. Even if it took that pullback, came down a little bit, still stayed above 112. And if you're doing the put spreads, all you want it to do is say price. If you got in at 125, you're like, I think Apple will stay below 125 at expiry. And guess what? That's what's gonna happen. Michael, these pivots are the DeMark pivots on TradingView. You go to indicators and type in pivot points, so your traditional pivot points, and then just change your settings, right? 1 second. Let me just pull it up. Here. So if you just go to pivot points, right? Just type in pivot, your pivot point standard on TradingView. You can click on that, and then I'll turn this one off and I'll show you exactly how I get there, right? This, I kind of just keep the 2. I don't need all the data for it. And then from traditional, I'll go to DM, which is DeMark. And I realized for these key support levels and key resistance levels is where price tends to stay, and in between. So, and when I'm doing like these spreads, it's always like that weekly expiry, or I'll go a couple weeks out and I'll play it that way. There's some good stock runners, Chuck. What's going up today? Let me know. But yeah, for playing those spreads, it's super simple. Just the support levels, the resistance levels, you just want price to stay above that level. It gives you the exact price that you want for your contracts. AXIN. Okay, let's check it out. ES is just going down. I'm not playing this anymore. Like, yikes. Yeah, AXIN definitely popped through the roof. Yeah, I'll pull up my chart for it. Let's take a look at it, right? Got that alert right at 9:30 on the 5-minute charts and just kept going, right? That's a nice profit. How much was that move, to be honest? 100% move. Damn. Are these all penny stocks, Chuck? Let me take a look. BDR. I'm gonna get an alert on BDR. NTZ. Yeah, these are all like very much just around that penny stock area. So I know you came up from the penny stock world. Me personally, I'm not gonna talk about penny stocks on this channel. I don't want to get into that world. I don't want to. I have messed with it in the beginning when I first started out. Seemed attractive. Nope. I know people can make good money on it. That's good for them. But I'm a person that avoids penny stocks, so we will not be talking about that. Yeah, they are super volatile. That's why I don't like that. Yeah, if I see wicks, I like things with more volume. Like one of my favorite things to trade, one obviously Apple and stuff, but like all-time favorites to trade is TQQQ. It's a 3x multiplier ETF of the QQQ index. So just love trading that thing, man. Like I think it's because it's done wonders for me, that's for sure, but an easy thing to understand as well. Okay, 120 million volume. That is a good amount of volume. Not that I will not lie. But I don't know. For some, I'm not getting into like penny stocks anytime soon, or probably never will again. So ES, pretty much, guys, hit our support level. It's struggling a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, that is true. People do love those low float. Getting a nice little bounce. That's nice. Yeah, man, I agree with that. To each their own. Everyone figures stuff out differently. There's people that become millionaires off of just penny stocks, and that's great for them. They figured it out. I'm happy for them. You found that breakout trading works best with pennies? Okay. Oh, dude, the bull flag breakout with stocks, oh, it's beautiful. Even with futures, it's harder to come by them a little bit, but when it happens, we know it's about to be a great move. Especially when it happens in the 5-minute charts. Oh, man. What made me want to start the YouTube channel? I mean, I kind of just wanted to get my methods out there. One was the algo, one was just journaling my trades as well. And another thing was the main part was I wanted to really help people out. Like I wanted to get the word out there, and I can actually help you. I'm just gonna share the knowledge that I have, the years that I spent learning, and I realized that the easiest way to do that was through YouTube. Because I love giving back, so it's like this is just another form of me giving back, but it's like a win-win situation, right? Yeah, that's the whole reason. And another big reason was pretty much I saw so many people giving people false information, and that really annoyed me because I knew a lot of people wanted to get into trading, but then they saw these random people and they just believed them or fell for their scam, and then that's why, like, they lost a good amount of money and they're just never coming back in the market again after that. And I was like, dude, like, you missed out on a great opportunity to like learn a new skill that could really impact your life like completely, right? Like trading has definitely changed my life completely. And I know like down the line I'll be in a position where it's like, wow, but still growing, man. Still young, still got more time, still got a lot to learn. But everything I learned so far, I do want to give back. That's why I made that free course. The link's down below. A lot of people signed up, and I love getting the feedback from everyone where they say it's like, oh, this helped me so much. It's all structured. And the one thing another reason is like I noticed on YouTube that there's all these videos. Yes, that's great, free knowledge and everything, but it's not structured. That's why I didn't put that course on YouTube, just because I knew people would be getting in on one chapter without understanding the chapter that goes before it. Because like people are getting into like option spreads without understanding what an option is, and people are getting into options without understanding what a stock really does and how it moves. So people are jumping so much that there's an information overload without information consistency. And that's why I created that course. I was like, let me just put all the basics into a course and just make it free and help people out. I do want to make a more advanced course as well down the line. I do want to pick on certain topics where I mean, pretty much after you learn the basics and you have a proper strategy in place, it's really about your risk management and your trading psychology and your mindset. So I want to make a course just about talking that and make that free as well. I'm not in here to make money off courses or education, because people are charging like thousands of dollars for these courses, and I paid for them before, and I was like, let me learn something, and I realized, dude, like this was complete nonsense. Like I wasted like so much money like for this stupid course, and I was like, that pissed me off so much. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me take part of the market share out and help people out, because like then they'll learn that, hey, there's certain people you can avoid. And the biggest thing is like the easiest telltale sign when a trader is fake is, one, they say holy grail. If they're telling you they have a holy grail system, it's false. There's no holy grail system in trading. You're continuously learning. Markets are always changing. You can have a nice win rate for sure. That's why when I tell you about the algo, guess what? It's like I tell you, it's like 80 to 85% win rate, and that's for all the results, right? Anything can happen in the future as well, and that's just the way the markets are. So there's no system that's like 100% guarantees like it'll work every single time. Especially if you're not Christian. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, when they don't talk about their losses, it's a big red flag. That's why even when I talk, like that's why the P&L is always up. And even in my thumbnails that I make for YouTube and my titles, I literally say $600 loss. That's what I changed the title to today. I said $600 loss, day trading futures. Dude, what am I gonna get by saying like, oh, look at this, I did this? No, that doesn't impact somebody else's life. Like, I can understand when people don't want to share their income and everything. That's completely normal because that income should be private. That's just for personal safety and everything. But if you're trading live and everything, there's nothing wrong with showing your P&L or just talking about your strategies, because you'll be able to tell who's BSing you and who's not just by the way they talk, as well as what they're trying to do, right? Yeah, George, like, and there's people that say like, oh, 1,000% return, dude. Like, get out of my way. When I see those ads, I literally started reporting it. Like, I don't want to see this ad, or like I think it's spam. I click that button now. Like, I'm at that point where it annoyed me so much that those people are doing that. Oh, I'll show you a system where you can make 1,000% sitting overnight. Like, yeah, maybe that can happen every once in a blue moon, but it's not consistent. I care about probability. I care about consistency. So that's the way I trade. And for a lot of people, that trading style, it matches up, and they like it, and they say thanks to me, and I love that. I love hearing that. But right now, it's like, hey, you have to wait it out, right? Patience is a big thing. Patience has been being tested a lot this month. That is for sure. I think that's what one of the things I'm actually going to add to that course again. Be like, how to identify these scammers or anything like that. Yeah, patience is a big part. Being consistent is a big part. I think this is all stuff I need to make a YouTube video on now that I'm thinking about it. Because it's like, because your strategies will work. Backtesting, if you backtested it and you backtested for a while, right? I backtest things for like years. So it's like, that way I know it's like, hey, it's not just working in this volatile market, it's actually working in the previous markets as well, right? That's very important to me. That's why when you see like the algo's results, backtest results on the Excel sheet that's in the Discord, you'll see 4 years of data for each stock that I backtested, just because it took me a long time to type every single alert up and their results and everything. So it's like, but it shows you, hey, volatile market or non-volatile market, you're still getting great results. And with the stocks, I'm not going for like 40% returns or 50% returns every time. I'm going for like a couple percent here and there because that's how you grow your account exponentially. You're just reinvesting your money. Yeah, it's not just about coming in willy-nilly, right? And that's why I tell people, dude, I'm not some guru or some millionaire trader or something like that. I'm a guy that found consistency in the market, been doing well, and been growing. And I will get to that point when one time. So it's like I'm in that journey right now. As long as I stay strong, I stay consistent, I know I'll hit that mark. And I'm still 24. I'm young, so it's like I don't expect myself to make a million in like a 1 year or anything like that. Because my type of trading style is more conservative, so I know it's going to take a lot longer. But I also know that by being conservative, it's also going to be safer. Because that's where the risk management really kicks in. I see some people, they catch a nice lucky break here and there too, and they make a good amount. I think one of the biggest things that annoyed me was one time my brother he did one thing. He he took like $37 and bought a Tesla option. Like it was way out of the money. He was just playing around just because he just wanted to like invest and whatnot. He was just messing around, and he hit big because he what was it? He's not a pro trader. He doesn't really know much about trading or anything like that. He was just playing around. He's like, it's $37. Let me just play around with it. He took a Tesla option right before we hit that 1,000 mark, and dude, he took $37 into 3,000, and I was like, God damn it! Like you're not gonna understand if you win like this. Obviously, he didn't win like that ever again, but still. He was like, "Oh, but like that can happen, right?" I was like, "Oh my god, dude, that is just pure luck. You didn't even know why you got in. You just bought it just for fun. Like you spent $37 and you got 3,000. I was like, "Well, I can't teach this kid anything anymore. He's never gonna believe me." But he's coming around to it again. He wants to get into it more, so I will be teaching him more. I mean, he just plays around with those options like once in a blue moon. He just usually he has an account just for like long term investing, but he just wanted to ride that hype train around Tesla because he felt like he was just missing out on everything, and he got in and he got lucky. He knows that. He knows that now. But there are people that only take those type of plays. They're like, oh, I want to get big, like win big like that. And you have like the one of the Wall Street bets on Reddit. You see their accounts. Like, yeah, these guys win like sometimes $1 million in one play. But guess what? People taking those trades are probably gonna lose that million pretty soon as well. Because they're just gonna keep betting. They're at that point they're just betting, they're gambling. Because in no way does that ever make sense. It's like, oh, I'm putting all my money in, but I can win big. That personally, I can't do that, guys. Like I really can't. I can't just put all my money down on one thing and be like, hey, let's see where this goes. Sure, if it was $10, go for it. I don't care about $10. But if it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, then it's like, yo, I'm not messing around with that. It took me a long time to earn it. It took me a long time to build it up in the market. I'm not just gonna give it away just because some guy told me like, oh, this is gonna go up today. That's why I say due diligence is key. Super important. yeah, we're just, you know, jumping back and forth between that key level. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna sign off for today. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, just enjoy the rest of my day because this market, not getting into it. But if you guys are trading, hopefully you guys can catch something nice. I hope you guys bring in a profit as always. But I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, peace out. Enjoy your day, guys.